Thomas Wayne is a Batman from a universe in which Bruce Wayne died. He was driven over the edge and became a Batman that was willing to kill. He then went on an adventure with Barry Allen to correct that timeline, only to discover it rebuilt, recreated during the Rebirth era. He then went into the mainline universe where he attempted to stop Bruce Wayne as Batman, to free him of the curse that is the Waynes. When that failed, he then went off to the Justice League Incarnate, where he traveled throughout time and space, trying to redeem himself. But when all of that was over, he thought that he was done. He thought that he had died, only to awaken in a world that shouldn't exist. The Flashpoint universe. A universe where Bruce had died, Martha Wayne had become the Joker, and the world was on the brink of destruction as the alien Kryptonians were on their way to destroy it, and the Atlanteans and the Amazonians were at war. But the question became, why was he in this world? Because this world shouldn't exist. None of this should exist. None of it was real, as far as he was concerned. But as we discovered, Bruce Wayne was in the real world, and he decided to give his father a second chance. He had discovered a way to trap the Flashpoint universe within a snow globe, to contain hypertime inside of this one location, almost like the bottled city of Kandor, but instead, he created an entire timeline in a snow globe so that his father could go back to the world that he was supposed to be in. But there's an issue with that. You can't contain hypertime within a snow globe. And Rip Hunter and Corky and the Time Hunters all arrived to tell Bruce what he had done was going to destroy the entire universe. That unless he broke the globe and destroyed that universe, everything would end. But while Bruce is dealing with Rip Hunter and Corky telling him that this shouldn't even exist inside of the contained universe of Flashpoint, Thomas Wayne is now confronting Martha Wayne, because Martha also discovered that their universe shouldn't exist, and she got her hands on a time sphere and wanted Thomas Wayne to go with her to leave, to reset everything, to save everyone. And if they do that, the entire multiverse will be destroyed due to hypertime. This is the Comicstorian channel. I take your favorite comic books, I break them down into audio dramas, and I read them back to you. The point of this is so that you know what's going on in the world of comics, and it allows you to pick things out for your collection. And today we're going to be covering the conclusion to Flashpoint Beyond, issue number 6. Rip Hunter now stands before Bruce Wayne as he's beginning to process everything. The world that he created could quite possibly destroy the multiverse, and this man, Rip Hunter, is an arrogant man, more so than Lex Luthor or Hal Jordan. The same goes to the other Time Masters, all who claim to know everything about everyone when it comes to the past, present, and future. Could they simply be lying to him? Because this globe is imbued with chronal energy that was connected to Dr. Manhattan, and this globe contains the Flashpoint, a timeline that was never supposed to exist, and it's the only environment that could keep his father from evaporating into nothingness. Bruce tells Rip to take Corky and go about their business. "You do not want to challenge me. Not this time." Rip sighs. "Look, I know this is extremely personal for you, but imprisoning the Flashpoint inside of that globe is like trying to keep a tornado in a jelly jar. It's only a matter of time before that glass shatters, Bruce." At that moment, there's a thunderous crack coming out of the globe, and Rip Hunter says that his father is rejecting the timeline, just like a body rejecting the organ. The truth that he didn't know about his mother has made things even worse. You are risking a temporal disaster, and there are other things your actions are affecting too. Like my work. Important work. Hand the globe to Corky and let this go. Let Thomas Wayne go. Let your father go! This is your final warning, Bruce. Bruce thinks about it for a moment. Rip and the others claim to know every detail about everyone's lives, tales of how and when they die. But they can't share any of it because their mission is to protect history, not interfere with it, even though that's what they're doing right now. Bruce jumps over, grabbing the globe, telling Rip that he is in his house. "And I didn't invite you." Inside of the globe, Martha tells Thomas that they need to get the show on the road. "We can use the time sphere, which I designed and built before I gutted all of those time travelers. We can go back in time. We can save our son. Together." "You swore an oath. Till death do we part, Thomas." And I'm going to see that through. This is what you want, right? To turn our lives into a bad dream. To erase our painful existence of grief and emptiness. To end it all. Martha takes Thomas's hand and pulls him up, kissing him. But Thomas pulls away. No, the people that you murdered. Why are you worried about them? You said it yourself. None of this is real. None of this matters. But a voice chimes in. That's right. So what are we waiting for? Let's destroy it all. Gilda Dent, the wife of Harvey Dent, steps in holding a gun to Dexter's head, her own child. I don't want to be split in two like this anymore. Harvey's the one who's supposed to be the monster, not me. But back in the proper timeline, Batman throws a batarang. I won't let you kill my father. But Rip disintegrates, telling him, and I won't let you risk tying the timeline into knots for a man who is supposed to be dead. There's two ways that this ends, and I've seen them both. You can help me release the Flashpoint so that I can reintegrate it back into Hypertime and put your father to rest, or I can do it myself. Then I'll punish you in the past, present, and future. But inside of Flashpoint, Martha asks again, what does the future hold for us, Thomas? It was born out of grief, Barry Allen's lifelong mourning for his mother. That's what permeated this version of reality when it was recreated. Loss, anger, and pain. Everything that is happening, the only use that this tragic world has ever had was to show us how broken it could all become. So let's rescue everyone and send them to their better lives. All we have to do is climb into the time sphere and flip the switch. Thomas looks at the time sphere, and then Dexter asks, if you did that, what would happen to me? Gilda tells him that she would be freed from existence, and so would he. Am I going to die? After a long pause, Thomas looks at the young child. You won't die. You'll have never lived. Martha tells Thomas to hurry up and get in. Please, nothing else matters now. None of this will ever have happened. Thomas hesitates. We didn't have a choice to save Bruce that night. But now, right now we do. She asks if he's asking her to choose him over their son. She can't do that. Thomas lunges at Gilda to try and take her gun, but as he gets closer, she hits a switch that blows up the time sphere. As Thomas is thrown to the side, Gilda yells that she doesn't need the time sphere to erase things that shouldn't be. Her son isn't supposed to exist, and neither are they. And if you won't end it like it's supposed to be, then I will! She pulls the trigger on Dexter, and Martha grabs her from behind, pulling the gun as Gilda shouts, "What are you doing?" Martha turns the gun towards Gilda. Being a fool. And she pulls the trigger. The entire building begins to shake, and Gilda's boy falls to the ground, with Martha looking at Dexter. That may have been a touch traumatizing. As the building begins to collapse, Thomas quickly grabs Martha and Dexter and takes them out, just in time to avoid being trapped beneath it all. And as they all get outside, they look at the ruins of Arkham, and Dexter looks up asking, where is the snow coming from? Martha looks at Thomas, and without either of them saying anything, they both hold Dexter's hand. But back in the proper timeline, the snow globe's light fades, and Corky asks, what happened? The light went out. They gotta get back to the lab, right, before Bruce screws the universe up? Rip tells him no, and Corky asks why not. And Bruce stops them. Because my father proved you both wrong. You're lying! Corky shouts out, but Rip confirms it, stating that the globe has stabilized, even with a living paradox inside. Rip turns to Bruce and tells him that he gambled the entire universe on his father accepting a world without him. Irresponsibility doesn't even begin to describe what you've done. Bruce tells him no, but the odds are in my favor. It was all in his letter. Back inside of the globe, after some time has passed, Thomas is suiting up, and Dexter looks at his vest. Why Robin? He says, looking at his Robin outfit, and Thomas tells him, it's a family name. Nearby, inside of her cell, Martha Wayne smiles, looking at them, with bandages over her Glasgow smile. Looking good, boys? Dexter asks if they're going to tell anyone that Mrs. Wayne didn't die in the cave-in, and Thomas tells him that they're not. Just then, the news stations begin to report on the Kryptonian invasion. But before Thomas and Dexter can leave, Martha stops him, telling him to make sure to tie his shoelace. As Thomas kneels down, Martha goes on stating that he has to make sure and have fun up there. And if they need help finding kryptonite, just let her know. I still have connections. Now, let's kill some Kryptonians! But back over in the proper timeline, and in the currently destroyed time lab, Jeff and Bonnie arrive to help clean up, with Bonnie asking what they're going to do about Bruce. Rip says that Bruce is going to have his hands full with his mother's family soon. Not warning him will be his punishment. Bonnie says that's fair, but she still doesn't understand why they let Bruce Wayne keep that globe. And Rip tells her that after the way that they've been compromised, it'll be safer in the cave than the lab. She asks, what about the 13? Rip says the time capsules have failed, and they've all been pulled back into history. It's rebuilding around them. Let's just pray the reintegration back into the 1940s without incident. Bonnie looks at all of the empty capsules and asks, what about the Justice Society? Rip says that the Justice Society will have to handle Degaton. They've already got nostalgia to worry about. But somewhere else, a young woman by the name of Cleopatra Pack is attempting to break into a room and not having much success. She looks at her failed work and sighs. Well, if we can't do things this way, we're gonna have to find the Watchmen another way. Huh, Bubs? And Cleopatra's red tigers let out a loud roar. And that concludes Flashpoint Beyond. And oh my god, are the possibilities wide open for where this is going to go. I'm excited, and if you want to know, the moment it shows up in the world of comic books, we'll be covering it in shorts and then covering it majorly on the channel right here. And let me know in the comments down below what you think is going to be happening with the Watchmen, with Batman, with Flashpoint, with all of this. Don't forget to check us out over at Patreon, where you can get early access to all of our videos, and you can also join us over at YouTube memberships, where you also get early access. In the end, guys, thank you for supporting us and watching this video. I'll see you next time right here.